Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. We'll begin shortly. Welcome to the What's Your Story webinar. Thank you all for attending. Today, we'll be reviewing the creative best practices that drive Instagram Stories ads performance. My name is Christian Tabing Dallet, and I'm a Senior Product Manager at Kenshoo. I'm joined by Jamil Harrelson from Facebook's Global Marketing Solutions team, along with Johnny Mole from Shutterrock and Greg Lieber from VidMob. Before we get into the thick of things, a quick primer on stories. Stories is an ephemeral visual experience within the Instagram, Facebook, Messenger, and WhatsApp applications. Stories are immersive, full screen, and optimized for mobile consumption. Videos and photos shared through stories disappear after 24 hours, motivating people to capture and post candid moments from throughout their day. Since launching on Instagram in August of 2016, Stories adoption has grown significantly. As of last year, Stories on Instagram have grown to 300 million daily active users. 150 million people now use Stories through the Facebook app. On Messenger, 70 million people use Stories daily. And Stories adoption via WhatsApp status has surged to 450 million people. At Facebook's recent developer conference, it was announced that sometime next year, Stories is on track to surpass Feed as the top way for people to post and share visual content. We're at the forefront of the next big shift in consumer behavior. In 2014, internet usage via handheld devices surpassed desktop in the United States. Over the past few years, time spent watching traditional TV has dropped for every adult age group, shifting their attention instead to mobile video. The shift from desktop to handheld devices, coupled with the shift from television to mobile video, is fueling this most recent shift from feed to stories. The way in which people share and connect across Facebook's family of apps is changing. It's evolving to an experience that's more real-time, visual, and authentic. Stories are the future of sharing. To stay relevant and to thrive as advertisers, it's critical to embrace this change and adapt your paid social program to maximize Stories ads performance. To help you do that, we've compiled the following creative best practices. Number 1, seize attention within the first second. Take advantage of the full screen, full sound, and full motion capabilities of story ads to capture your audience's attention quickly. Like in this best-in-class example from Peloton, consider including a provocative question or statement within the first few frames. Pair with alluring imagery to maintain engagement throughout. Number 2, use vertical elements to strengthen your message. Leverage the unique, mobile-first, vertical orientation of Stories ads to make a strong statement. Like in this great example from the Home Depot, think creatively about how you can use the full-screen Stories experience to reinforce your value propositions. Number 3, give your target audience a concise product demonstration or a quick step-by-step product tutorial. Then, close with a clear call to action, like in this example from Playdemic's Golf Clash. Here, within just a few seconds, the user gets a realistic preview of the game and has the option to immediately download the app. Number 4, apply native stickers, text, and effects to your stories ads to seamlessly integrate your brand within the organic stories experience. In this example, Fiat has included a combination of winter sports-oriented stickers and text overlays, making this ad look and feel like an organic story. Here's another quick example from Diesel, who use stories, style, overlays, and text. Number 5, tell a complete story. This innovative example from Lowe's uses a combination of video and stop motion techniques to tell a visually addictive story from the renovation of a small space. The organic stories experience is fast, so it's important to maintain this rhythm using fast-moving, succinct narratives. Number 6, spotlight your brand. Maximize brand awareness, recognition, and consideration by showcasing your logo prominently throughout your stories ads. In this example, Noosa's logo is highlighted front and center and featured from the very beginning all the way to the end. Number 7, apply visually stimulating animations to drive swipe ups. In this example from EE, a rotating text animation positioned near the See More call to action button at the bottom drives people to swipe up to shop the look live. In this other example from Universal Music, a prominently displayed animated text overlay is used to compel users to swipe up to visit their website. Number 8, use fast cuts and multiple scenes to keep people engaged with your stories ads. Like in this example, video shots transition at a heartbeat pace from scene to scene. Number 9, don't forget the sound. 60% of stories are played with the sound on. Adding music, dialogue, or sound effects can help keep audiences engaged. In this example from Gap, upbeat audio is applied. Finally, number 10, be playful and experiment. Stories ads are still an emerging format, so don't be afraid to test and try new and innovative ways to capture your audience's attention, maintain their engagement, and maximize your marketing objectives. Now, I'll hand it over to Jamil from Facebook. Jamil?
Awesome. Well, thank you, Christian. As Christian kind of outlined some of our creative best practices, what I want to kind of cover is, now that you know what the best practices are, what are the resources that are available to you to kind of take advantage of this new ad unit and also get the maximum performance based on your core business's KPIs. My name is Jamil Harrelson. I'm on the Global Marketing Solutions team at Facebook, and I cover product growth. So I work with partners like Kenshoo to ensure that they are adopting some of our biggest ad units and also driving end client success so that they're providing value above and beyond what we can do natively as a company. So with that said, I will go into how we think of some of the creative challenges and the resources that are available. And you'll also hear from some of our Facebook marketing partners about the solutions that they bring to bear and how they're driving end client success. So let's talk about overcoming the creative challenges. So there are 3 different ways in which there can be some friction for advertisers around creative, and we want to talk about some of the resources that are available to kind of help you get over the hump and begin to adopt the stories format. So one, every advertiser needs inspiration. They need to know what good looks like. What are other advertisers doing? What are some case studies and best practices? So they have a good baseline of comparison and where to begin to start. So one, the best place to start is just from everything that Christian outlined in his presentation earlier around the best practices that Kenshoo is driving as an FMP. If you want to get a little more granular information, you should reach out to your Kenshoo account team. They can provide you Kenshoo backed case studies that show you what's working for their book of business and clients. And they can show that to you at the industry vertical level as well. The third resource is getting in touch with Facebook's Creative Shop. So if you're a large Facebook advertiser, there are Creative Shop resources available for you. But even if you're an SMB, you can go on to facebook.com and look at some of our blueprint training sessions and modules to help you ramp up on new formats like Instagram stories. Fourth is a new product feature that we have called Creative Hub. And within Creative Hub, there's a thing called Inspiration Gallery, where you can actually see mock-ups across multiple formats, aspect ratios, and ad units. So definitely go to Facebook's Creative Hub if you want to see a lot of different industry examples that we are highlighting as best in class to help you get inspired and begin to produce some 9x16 creative. Another big creative challenge is for SMBs that are low on cash, or SMBs whose sole focus is running their business, and they don't have a lot of time to think about ramping up on a complex platform like Stories. And they also don't have a lot of time to think about the production of their creative. So one of the key ways that Instagram and Facebook Inc. as a company, we've doubled down from a product perspective is we developed a tool that will allow advertisers to take their 4x5 aspect ratio creative and port it directly over to a template for Instagram stories. This is called 9x16. Your media agency and Kenshoo can help you kind of ramp up with that new format as it's already available on the Kenshoo platform. The second is considering a video templating solution. So there are Facebook marketing partners out there like Shaker that have real low cost 9x16 video templates where you can drag and drop your existing assets and immediately begin to take advantage of running ads on Instagram stories. And then third, there's free do-it-yourself video editors that are out in the market that will allow you to quickly port over your assets and develop 9x16 creative. But the easiest way to do this with the least amount of friction is to work with Kenshoo on our non-9x16 stories format and just really quickly port over those 4x5 feed aspect ratios that you're either running on Facebook or Instagram. And you'll quickly be able to take advantage of Instagram stories with the click of a button. The third, which some of our presenters will talk about, are around scaling. So it's one thing to be able to have an asset produced. It's another to have enough for an agile test and learn environment where you can begin to scale, combat creative fatigue, but most importantly, test to see what works for you and then optimize your creative over time so you get the most efficient media spend. So there's one way you can do this. You can leverage an image to video solution, which I'll talk a little bit about in the subsequent slide. Or you can partner with a video creator network, which I'll also talk about in a subsequent slide as well. So image to video solutions. So if you're an advertiser that has a really solid brand toolkit with amazing static assets that are in line with your brand equity and core pillars, there are partners out there, Facebook marketing partners that are available that can take your static images and port them into amazing videos that are also in line with mobile feed best practices. So a video for mobile feed is totally different than a video for traditional above the line campaigns like TV. One, you need short snackable content because feed isn't force viewed. And people are also, you need to really capture attention in those first few moments as people can begin to scroll through their feed and look at other content. So up next, I'll pass it over to Johnny from Shuttle Rock to talk a little bit about their image to video solution and some of the great success they're seeing with clients.
Thanks, Jamil. No, thanks for joining us today, and thank you, Kenshoo, as well, for having us along. Very briefly, I'm Johnny from Shuttle Rock, and I oversee our strategic partnerships, working really closely with partners like Kenshoo to help clients really reimagine existing assets. So what we've seen is a lot of advertisers do have a large quantity of approved static creative, but as they look at scaling into formats like Instagram stories, they're needing to look at ways to deliver stories ready creative, typically video creative. And our platform's designed to help them to do this at speed and to do it at scale, but in a way that doesn't sacrifice quality along the way. So really brief 3-step kind of process that we go through. We work with advertisers to transform their existing static creative into 6-second video. We then work with those advertisers to iterate on those and to build multiple variations that enable them to test and learn and to see which treatments of videos perform best. And then we work alongside partners like Kenshoo to make sure that they're being optimized and refreshed within live campaigns. In terms of the platform itself, what ShuttleRock is, it's one central platform where you can aggregate all of your existing static creative assets. These might be brand generated, agency generated, or user generated content. We make it really easy to enhance those static assets and convert them into feed ready or stories ready creative, and then begin to queue those creatives so that you speed up supply into your live campaigns. And I think really what we want to challenge advertisers to do is to sort of reimagine or to imagine what's possible with a very low quantity of existing creative assets. So in this example here for Yo Sushi, from a single supplied static image, using our instant video technology, we were able to convert this for the advertiser into feed ready and stories ready cuts, 6-second cuts. And then in a really scalable way, begin to produce different variations of that so that they can really easily trial out Instagram stories, get some really rapid insights around which formats, which creative treatments are working best. And really the challenge there is to think about what is possible from one image. So with the instant video solution, we're able to help advertisers create stories-friendly video from static. And I guess the real power of this kind of solution isn't so much around producing one video from one static, but with the premium video solutions, with very simple storyboarding and very simple creative direction, we're trying to provide a way for advertisers to produce more storyboarded video and create more variations that provide a more immersive experience, but again, all produced from static images, and all produced on a rapid turnaround of under 5 days for the advertiser. So our message really is it doesn't have to be difficult to get started with Instagram stories. So we have a range of different packages, but for example, we have a 5K launch pack. All we require from you is a library of up to 10 static images. You can include some video creative in that if you like. We'll take you through a very, very simple briefing process, and we'll deliver you back a pack of stories ready ads, ad creatives within 5 days.
Awesome, thank you, Johnny. So as Johnny kind of talked about the static to motion solution that you can get from ShuttleRock, I want to talk about another ecosystem of creative platform partners that are badged FMPs. And that ecosystem is what we call video creator networks. So these list of companies have an ecosystem of creators that they can tap into to build either bespoke content or repurposed TVC. And let me talk a little bit more about those two use cases. A lot of advertisers have television creative that they're now putting on the Facebook platform and they're not performing because they're not in line with mobile feed best practices. The power of a video creator partner is that they can take that TVC that's 30 seconds long and then repurpose it for a mobile feed environment, or repurpose it for 9:16 Instagram stories and layer on things like native tools to make the content even more native to the platform. And without further ado, I will pass this over to Greg from VidMob.
Thank you, Jamil, and very well said, and thank you, Christian, for the opportunity to chat here. So give you a little bit of an overview about of VidMob. VidMob is a creative platform that is ultimately helping brands, agencies, social platforms, and publishers create high quality video with scale and efficiency. As we like to kind of talk about, video has grown in volume and complexity over the past couple of years, and creating content, especially video for these platforms, isn't just important, but it's become really hard. It's really challenging to do that. We think about this for three different things that have contributed to this. Number one is generally, historically, video has taken a lot of time to produce. Number two, it's been very expensive to produce. And three, the quality has been hard to maintain. So our approach was to tap into this amazing pool of talented creators that are just out there and can create these great stories for platforms and these stories and train them the best practices for these platforms and have them deliver the best quality work for brands. And therefore, we're able to solve that problem by getting videos created and made very fast, to do it very affordably, and to maintain that level of quality that every brand deserves. When it comes to Instagram stories specifically, what we've done is work closely with the Facebook team and the Instagram teams to really, I think, present three different pillars of what we like to, how we talk about this to our clients. For one, we have this deep bench of experts who are trained in best practices for Instagram stories, not just by our team directly, but with the Instagram team too as well. Number two, it's very important for every brand as they create these Instagram stories to understand which creative characteristics are driving the results and why are certain stories working and why are certain ads not working. Number three is how we talk about efficiency, where instead of waiting 2.5 weeks and missing a potential opportunity with an ad campaign, we're able to deliver this creative in days, sometimes overnight, and at prices that are very digestible and allow you to produce multiple videos at once and multiple stories at once. And chose a couple really kind of large brand examples to highlight here. Again, the great thing about VidMob, one of the exciting things about my job is we get to work with clients big and small. So Adidas, obviously on the bigger end, wanted to reimagine their social assets and create a suite of concise creative to run on Instagram. So what we did is we produced 3 assets for them in different specs, each around the 11-second mark, and really driving for optimal engagement and brand recall. So these ads that we produced 16 assets in total. We're just showing you a couple right here, but it took less than a week to do, and was a truly exciting project as a fan of Adidas myself. And then we also did some great work for BMW, where, likewise, BMW is very innovative in the way that they think about stories and Instagram as a platform. And they wanted to, for their eye performance models, drive people to their website and create, with using stories as a lever to drive people to learn about the eye performance models through a longer form video on their website. So again, this is one of those examples where the brand had a very tight turnaround. This one was actually overnight, and wanted to produce the best quality content they could. So our expert Instagram creators were able to create 4 different cuts here, each featuring a unique performance element such as voiceover and end card variations, and a lot of things that marketers aren't always thinking about when they're concepting these stories. And so we were able to deliver this in literally one day. So another exciting brand to work with. As far as pricing goes, getting started with VidMob couldn't be easier. Our platform is actually free to use, but we found that in terms of Instagram stories, the best way to activate is through these really, really cool stories packs that we have. So for $15,000, we are able to create 9 assets, which is including in one of the newer Instagram carousel stories ads. And with this comes a couple of different creative concepts and 3 different variations for each, from a value perspective, really couldn't be better, especially with the talented pool creators that we're working with. So again, it's done all within 4 to 5 days, and the delivery mechanism for getting this quality content couldn't be easier.
Thank you, Jamil, Johnny, and Greg. Just to recap, we've reviewed what stories are and why they matter. We've shared 10 creative best practices to inspire your performance-driven creativity. And we've discussed the ways in which you and your team can overcome creative challenges. Now it's up to you to take action and to respond to this massive shift in consumer behavior from feed to stories. We recommend taking the next 3 steps. Number 1, if you haven't already, discuss amongst your team how to best incorporate stories ads within your paid social strategy. Number 2, leverage stories ads for all parts of your marketing funnel. Stories ads can be used for the brand awareness, reach, video views, conversions, app installs, lead generation, and traffic objectives. Finally, number 3, reach out to your Kenshoo and Facebook account teams for help overcoming any barriers. That concludes today's webinar. Thank you all for joining.